not the computer. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Can everyone hear me?
I know I don't have my mic. It's not working. I gotta still order that hub, Shannon, that you told me about because it's misbehaving. So Shannon and I are doing round 3,000 now for the podcast. So thank you guys. You can even understand what goes in the background of recording podcast and then having internet go out midway through. And then so Shannon and I are recorded last week and then it didn't work. The internet stopped working. And then so here we are again. We're back. Shannon doing it around 3,000.
Right. This proves our dedication to you guys, our peeps.
This is our love to you. We show again.
Awesome sauce.
So I have to
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I have to tell a story because I was like, and I told you earlier about it, and I just thought it was so funny. And I love how you came back with it. But those of you that know that I recently stopped biting my nails, and it's all thanks to this lady that I started going to, named Lisa, and she does my nails. Well, I have a nail appointment today. So last night I'm sitting on the couch and I'm taking my little file and I'm pushing back my cuticles and putting like my cuticle oil on, and I'm like trimming my cuticles, and I'm like thinking in my head, oh no, I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that probably cleans like their house before the cleaners come, only I'm doing the cleaning of the nails. I've turned into one of those people.
Pre-cleaning before the cleaner comes. It's such a revolution. It's like, we asked you to pick up but not clean up, right? Because how are you going to get stuff done? But it's this whole obsessive, you're going to judge me, right?
I know,
and life is life. If we weren't messy humans, we would not have jobs and businesses and services that we needed to provide. It's amazing to me to think of how far we have come in over 100 years. In the 1800s, there were no such thing as nail ladies unless you lived in an Asian country. So it's pretty fantastic to think of where we are today and the technology that we have. So
the service, like I had my garage door broke, and that's a service. Like we had to have the guy come out and replace the whole spring, and it was like $300 later. I'm like, you replaced the spring. Cheap. No, it was a lot for us, but it's service industries have come a long way. And I love what we're talking about today, and about, having the flat rates and why it's so important to have this flat rate going into homes and understanding the flat rate and how you can make good money doing the flat rate. So welcome to Cleaning Business Life. Thank you for joining Shannon and I today again. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Make sure you guys are subscribing and sharing. We love it when you guys share in cleaning groups. So we appreciate it very, very, very much. So, but yeah, flat rates, Shannon.
Oh my gosh. Flat rate is a revolution. It took a long time for the house cleaning aspect of the cleaning industry to wrestle with the concept of flat rate. We by nature are people pleasers as women. Most of us are women business owners. I know that we do have men out there, but the majority of us are women, and we're groomed and conditioned to be people pleasers. So we will we'll do anything to appease so we don't have conflict. And it's a bold statement to say, this is what I'm going to charge. Well, the caveat to having a flat rate price is that everything is negotiable. So if you, for example, say a house is going to be, based on the information you've told me, I think that your house is going to be $172.25, and you get there, instead of being, a 1 out of 10 where a 10 is filthy and a 1 is like, do you really live here scale, it's like a 12. And because that person's interpretation of what their house is not that dirty. So then you have to start the renegotiation process. That's the point. That's the opportunity for you to renegotiate the price. Sometimes when you arrive, it is more work than the $172.25. It's the $225 price. And that's what the price is going to be going forward, because there's 52 collectibles and 9 cats and 2 dogs and 3 kids and 2 adults.
20 birds.
20 birds, like my house. Where there's a lot of stuff going on that has to be maintained. So give yourself the grace to renegotiate the deal, so that you are not eating it. It used to be the old adage, well, I quoted you the 172.25, so I'm going to suck it up, even though I know this is an 8-hour job because this is the right thing to do. That is not the right thing to do, and that is not the mentality to have in 2024.
No, and I think about like so many times these people, like cleaners, we go in and you didn't price it right. And then you start cleaning for them and you go in and you kind of start feeling like yucky, like I'm doing all this work and I'm not making money and this is just depressing and I really don't want to be here. And you start getting that mindset. And it's like,
It's
you
called
don't want that.
resentment.
Yes. And it's like you want to go in knowing that you're pricing that house right
Mhm.
for yourself so you can come back feeling valued, or your cleaners can feel valued, your employees can feel valued. And that right there, feeling valued, is just like a weight lifted off your shoulder. You don't want to go in just pricing wrong. So flat rate, you guys, is everything. I even went into a house, one of my houses, and I actually kind of did the opposite, Shannon. I went in and it was a family, and a family of three. And no, I took the back. It was a family of four. She just had a baby. So it was a crib. And then they had a little boy. And their house looked amazing. You know, we went in and did the deep clean. He's like, I want to add on the oven for my wife. And because I don't know if you guys know, I do like an a la carte. So always market that a la carte too for your flat rates and say, hey, I've got this extras if you want to add on to your rate. So it's an upsell. But we cleaned his house, and the next few times we were cleaning it, and it was not, I think I quoted like 180, and this was like probably 4 years ago. And I felt like it was too easy. Like I was making more money. So I quoted him down. Like I knocked off $10. And let me tell you, when I did that, he tipped our girls the difference.
I think that's awesome. No, that's not an everyday occurrence. That's a
No,
once
it's not.
occurrence, because more likely than not, it is going to be on the higher spectrum. But call it what it is. That's why when you always hear me talk, I'm preaching it. Given a range, so if you're giving a range for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, hypothetically, we don't know all of the bells and whistles. It should
Mhm.
be the starting price, which I just said, 172.25 to 189.50.
Mhm.
And people ask, why do I have the weird 25 and 50? In the mind of the client, it proves to them that I have calculated some sort of special math.
Yes. And they can't figure it out. I always
And they
do that.
can't
I'm
figure
like
it
you, I do
out.
it off.
Right. And then they're
Throw
like,
them
well,
off.
how's she coming up with this price? And then, of course, the second question is how many people do you send and how long will you be here? And to caveat that chunk of information is, it's basically because I only work in solos. And I flat out say, every person works a little differently. I think that this person should be in there anywhere from, because it's biweekly, it should be 2.5 to 3 hours is usually what your ideal house is.
Mhm.
Um, and then that way they can decide if they're going to justify the expense in their mind. Some people are penny pinchers, and that's fine. Not knocking it. There's lots of blogs and posts about saving pennies, saving pennies, saving pennies. But they have to be comfortable with what they think in your mind, what they're going to get. So make sure that you, if you're out cleaning, you're nailing it. Or if you have a crew, that your crew is out there nailing it. Then they can justify the expense. Well, this person hardly ever makes a mistake. So yeah, I want her.
Make it desirable. Like we can get you scheduled in, the flat rate. I always say this is our schedule. We book up quickly.
Mhm.
So people have the urgency. When you see something that is an urgency, like, oh, the sale is only one day to get 20% off or free shipping, or if it's like, this one, we book up really quick, you guys. So we have to get in there to get in our schedule, or you'll be booked out for a while. So that sense
Right.
of urgency is super important too. When you guys get ready to do the flat rate, you can even do the sense of urgency. It sells.
Sorry, I didn't clean off my desk before I plopped down my laptop.
That's
Forgive
what
me.
I was like looking at. Everybody can see my desk that's on here.
I'm
It's
like,
cleaned,
oh,
but it's just I gotta put stuff away. But no, it's clean. Yeah, no, we're
yeah.
like, look at our desk. This is the real us. Shannon and I are real. We are not fake. We have fun. You get to see the raw us. Only I have makeup on today, so Uh, but Shannon, you froze. Shannon. Shannon. Ah,
Where to edit.
okay.
Welcome back, everyone. I know we had a brief interruption and we were discussing on why you need to give a range and why everything is negotiable. And sometimes when you walk into a house, it's nothing like they described. So that's your opportunity to renegotiate the deal. And legitimately, in over a decade of business, I've only had one person in all of the homes that I've dealt with, thousands and thousands of them, throw us off the property because they did not want to pay more than what we had agreed upon. So just know that there is an opportunity for you to renegotiate the deal should you need to. We no longer need to suck it up for the 175, 25, or whatever price we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. So you guys, flat rate is everything. And I see so many people trying to do hourly. And when they get into hourly, I think it just starts causing problems. And then you start getting questions from the customers and they're like, oh, well, I'm a nurse and I make that much an hour. And so I feel like that can also eliminate the issues that you're going to arise with people like that. That's actually going to be like, why am I paying a house cleaner, you know, if you charge like 50 an hour? Why am I paying a house cleaner $50 an hour when I make that? That's not, that's not right. So when you do the flat rate, it
It
actually,
is right.
yeah, it
We
is
should be
right.
making more than that.
Exactly. It is. You are running a business with business expenses.
Right.
And
Just
I like
an
to give that,
employee.
yeah, and I like to give that example kind of like, because I had that happen to me when I first started. And the example I like to give is like when a nurse goes into the hospital, that's her job. She just does that, right? But she doesn't have to deal with all the expenses that the
Right.
hospital occurs. So when the hospital bills charge you all that astronomical amount, they're trying to cover all their expenses. So
Right.
when
The
you
nurse
have to,
doesn't get the extra stuff.
exactly. And when you're own a house cleaning business and you're charging like that 50, 60 an hour, and you tell them that, like they ask about that, you're like, well, that's all I have to break down all the business expenses and supplies. And they just don't understand that unless they're a business owner. That's what I've come to find out. And that's why flat rate and charging flat rate is so important.
And ironically, I will add my 2 cents in here. It's usually nurses that we hear from the most who always gripe about how much we are making. I can reiterate that over and over and over again. And I have nothing against nurses. They have been lifesavers on many moments in my life.
Mm-hmm.
However, they just don't get the concept of that everybody deserves to make money. Not just them, not because they supposedly have more education. Many of us in our industry have 2 or 3 college degrees.
Right.
And we're laughing all the way to the bank, baby, because that's just how it is.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And it's like, I think we had talked about a little bit before we got cut off was the value. Just
Right.
going in these homes and really charging your worth so you can have that value when you leave and you're not feeling so depressed every time you have to go back in there and clean.
And making sure that if you're out there cleaning yourself, or that your crew is nailing it each and every time. So having standard operating procedures on what gets cleaned, what doesn't get cleaned, really does help define what exactly that flat rate is covering. And that flat rate is covering less and less as the years go on, because it's just labor is so expensive. Like when I first got started in this game, we used to wet wipe all of the baseboards each and every time. It's just nuts to think about that now. Now it's an add-on service, just like Kim mentioned her a la carte package that she sells. Um, it's an add-on service, and it should be an additional minimum $100 on top
Yep.
of the normal cleaning fee. It's because you just it's all hands and knees. There isn't I've seen new products come out and every year we go all excited and then one or two people try it and they're like, it's not all that. So unless you become the inventor of some great product that can clean baseboards without being on your hands and knees, please reach out. I'd be curious to see it.
I know. I like to use my mop. Like I use one of those with cedar mops in my own home. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that cuts my back breaking at least a little bit. But yeah,
Right.
maybe I'll have to invent something, Shannon. I'll have to like
I don't
start drawing
know.
some stuff together and have my next greatest invention.
Right. It's there's been a couple of things that have come on and it depends on the circumstance. And then, then the styles of homes, like for a while there, it was the super micro thin baseboards that
Yeah.
didn't have much of a lip, so you really did have to hand wipe them. And then now everything's the big, thick, we're back to the big, thick, like
And
crown
it's
molding,
like, yeah, and it's wide and
decorative baseboards, which are absolutely beautiful. They were actually known for the craftsman style homes that were built in the 20s and 30s. So there was in Los Angeles, where I'm from. I grew up in Redondo Beach, so some the homes, like in Pasadena, they were craftsmen, so they'd have these really decorative um,
I know what you're talking
baseboards,
about,
and then
like
they
all the
have the
original.
Santa Fe, and Santa Fe didn't have any baseboards, so it just depended on what style home you got.
And I know that now the new trend is doing, and I can't think of the name right now, but the new trend is where they do the half the wall, so they put the boards up on the
Oh,
wall.
the
And then
wainscoting, yes, that's been a
no,
big.
it's not wainscot. Well, that's on there too, but it's like a panel. So they just use wood and they put up like it's not even a panel. They just put up wood and then they put the top piece on it. But the top piece is like a shelf almost on
Right.
your wall. And so I'm like that, you gotta take that in consideration. That's like the new trend. I've been watching the trend and
It's
that's
scary. We're getting off topic here, but if you look at any of the reels on Instagram or Facebook, and there's always these DIYers who are doing paste and stick things, it's scary as a cleaning business owner to look at this stuff because I'm like, how is this going to get cleaned and is it going to come off the
exactly.
wall? So
But you know what? It's good to mention
careful and
that because
aware.
yeah, but it's good to mention because when you do go into these homes and you do see these DIYs and you're like, it's a good way to like try to figure and problem solve and figure it out and talk to them about that because maybe you need to charge
Definitely.
more. So it's good
Right.
to always be aware of what is in homes and the trends to be prepared for whatever is going to come your way for that flat rate.
I've seen painting your faucet is another. I was like, in your bathroom. I'm like, why would you
Yes.
paint faucet in the shower? Why? Why?
I know that's a whole nother topic for us, Shannon. Write that down.
Totally.
This is how we come up with our topics, you guys.
DIY topics
We go off on
for
our little
cleaning.
tantrum and then we come up with new topics this way.
I'm writing it down right now. So yeah, it's so when you're doing flat rate, it really is, and I know people go, it's impossible, I'll never do that. You've all heard me talk about, and Kim has spoken about it herself. Way back when I started, I thought I was a big old bad butt because I was making 25 bucks an hour, right? And then when you start to add, that's my dog, when you start to add up all of the money that you're not making because you're spending 8 hours in a house, it really does make an impact on your income, right? Or you're charging hourly and the person goes, my friend from Phoenix is coming up because I live in northern Arizona, and we're gonna cut your hours today because I'm gonna go have lunch with my girlfriends. And you're like, but I was counting on, the 8 hours of pay, and they're like, too bad, so sad.
Mhm.
Where if you were charging flat rate, you'd be in and out and you'd already be at your second house, right? You're not marking. A lot of painters use time and material. They'll either bid it flat rate by the square foot or it's T&M. You'll hear painters say it all the time. T&M, T&M, T&M. That is code for go slow because we are all being paid an hourly wage to milk the clock.
Oh, geez.
So,
And I
just
like it because when you do start breaking that flat rate down, and let's say you have three houses, and I personally, when I was first, like when I did my flat rates, I liked doing the medium sized homes. I didn't like doing big homes. I like doing the medium sized homes because I can make more money with the square footage of anything between, like 13,000 to like 2,000. or 2,200.
13,000? 13,000. You're
Yeah,
cleaning house.
13,000. 1,300. Um,
That's better.
I don't want to do 13,000. I don't
Wow.
want to do 13,000 square foot homes anymore. But no, I liked it because I was able to knock out when I was just me cleaning, I was able to knock out 3 a day. And
Right.
so the smaller homes, and so I would charge like 220. And that was like my average rate, for those kinds of, those homes. And so I would knock that out. And that's like what, two, four, six. It's like what, already almost a thousand
60.
dollars
Right. For a day's work. And
for a
more than
day's
likely,
work.
you're not putting in 8 hours or you're just close to the 8 hour mark.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Exactly. So pricing it, and then I know all these people go after, these cleaners go after these huge mansion homes, but I'm telling you, those are the hardest ones to like make money off of.
They
And
are. They're house poor.
yeah, and you clean and then you're there all day. And for me, I get bored, so I'm like, I like change. So I like to go into different homes and, be done. So it's like I feel like when you price them right, and I like to have the medium-sized homes, you can make more money that way.
You can. So when you start to really break down the math, the opportunity for you to gross 100K within your first year or just at the 1 year mark is doable. It's not impossible. I've had people flat out tell me no. I have actually a couple testimonials that just came out inside of my Facebook group. And I've seen it in other groups where they're like, yeah, Shannon taught me how to do this. And, one of them actually grossed, I believe, 16,000 their very first year, but this following year, she's already done over 100 grand, and it's not, they weren't even at the end of the year at that point. So it is possible,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a game changer when you're making the money you deserve. Your prosperity starts to flow in more, your energy level changes,
Yeah.
you feel worthy, you're able to go on vacation,
Confidence. I feel like
yeah,
that confidence comes into play too.
and it really does make an impact, and it's not impossible, it is very doable.
So you guys make sure you guys charge your flat rate. Make sure you guys have any add-on charges, like have your a la cartes ready to go,
Mhm.
and they can select from it because that's extra money that is going towards that flat rate, and it will make you guys more. Even simple as vacuuming the couches. If you have a husband like mine that likes to eat sunflower seeds and then he spills them all through the couch cushions, I know Mark doesn't listen to this. Like last night, and half of it spilt in there, I would gladly welcome somebody to come clean my couches. And I have two golden retrievers and a cat. So my couch is always hairy and I'm always wiping it down and cleaning it. So I would gladly pay extra for somebody to come vacuum all the sunflower seeds out of my couch.
Definitely. So if you guys have any questions in regarding flat rates or in the up and coming price increases, which we'll be talking about in a couple more episodes, then please reach out, and we can be reached at cleaning business life. I had to think about that, too many emails at gmail.com. And we look forward to your questions, and or you can check us out on social.
Yeah, and you can tag us too. We're always up for tags. I'm not always on all the time and I'm busy, but feel free to tag us.
Definitely. Well, you
Have
guys take care.
Yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.